Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jess, and I'm going to be doing the Fan Friday for this month. Um, so, I am one of the newer members of Girls Behind the Rock Show. I am one of the social media coordinators, and you'll mostly see me on the Facebook page. That's the main thing that I run. Um, but also, from time to time, I will be on Twitter and stuff like that. But mostly Facebook, so come say hi. Um, So, today I'm going to be talking about my experience with the Foo Fighters and how it was instrumental in my my judgment in figuring out that music was something that I wanted to pursue for a living. And it's kind of a long story. Um, so, I actually haven't been pursuing music as long as I think some of the other girls in this group. I didn't realize that I wanted to make it a career and that I could make it a career until 2015, last year. Um, my first job working in something music related was being a security guard for Merriweather Post Pavilion, which is a venue in my local area. And we were told once we were hired that they didn't say what artist it was, but they said that there was going to be a really major 4th of July event in DC that they wanted people to work, and they were checking to see if we would be available to work it. And it wasn't until later that I actually put the pieces together to figure out that it was the Foo Fighters concert that was going to be happening in DC. And the special thing about that concert, even before all the other craziness that I'll get to, the special thing about that concert was it was the Foo Fighters' 20th anniversary blowout spectacular or something. There was some specific name for it. And so they were going to have a lot of major people play as well. Joan Jett, Hart, Buddy Guy, Red, Gold, and Green. Yeah, so a lot of cool artists were supposed to play there as well. And so I was already really excited because I was thinking, holy crap, I get to get paid to work this event for an artist that I love so much. This is so cool. Because that was one of the first concerts that I worked for Merriweather where it was an artist that I liked. So I was excited about that. But if you guys are familiar with the Foo Fighters and followed them at all last year, last year in June of 2015, I believe, they were in Europe, and I think it was Sweden, and Dave Grohl was doing what he usually does, crazy running around stage, and it was during Monkey Wrench, and he was singing and slipped and fell off the stage and broke his leg. And it was a pretty major break, too. I saw pictures. It was gross. If you're squeamish, don't look it up. But that was crazy because he had to go through a ton of surgery, and they were canceling a lot of Foo Fighters dates. And every day I would log onto my computer and check and see what dates they were canceling. And I would check and see if the DC date had come yet, because slowly but surely they were canceling dates. And we were getting closer and closer to the DC date, and I was thinking, I really hope he gets better in time for this, because I had been obviously looking forward to it for a long time. And it ended up happening that they canceled all of the dates on their tour schedule leading up to DC, but kept the DC date, and the DC show was the very first show that they played since his injury. So put that on top of the fact that it was also their 20th anniversary with all the other bands and artists they had been bringing along, and it was just, and 4th of July, it was insane. It was so hard to describe how cool it was to actually be a part of that show. And day of, I was working the gate for the majority of the day. So I wasn't inside the venue during the day. So I missed some of the other bands, like Joan Jett, I didn't see, Heart, things like that, because I was busy working outside. But then my supervisor knew how much I loved the Foo Fighters and wanted to see them. And so about 15 minutes before their set, she took me inside RFK Stadium, which, if you're not familiar with with the DC area, RFK Stadium is huge. It's where our soccer team, DC United, plays. I believe it's where the Redskins used to play. Way back, they don't anymore, but it's huge. And she took me inside, took me to the soundboard, and I got to watch the entire 2.5 hour long Foo Fighters set from the soundboard, which was so surreal. Especially because I had been working all day at the gate. It felt like such a huge reward to be able to watch this entire show. It was insane. And Dave Grohl came out on this throne, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to look it up. It was really, really awesome. Someone had custom built a throne, is what he called it, for him to sit on and play. Because he had a broken leg, he had to prop his leg up. But he was still, what cracked me up was he was still bouncing around and so high energy, and it was really, really awesome. And it really stuck in my mind. One specific moment that I go back to a lot is when the song Congregation started playing. The entire crowd, I mean, it was pretty much like that the entire show, but especially with Congregation, the entire crowd started singing, and they had their lighting and displays and things made it look like it was a church, because if you're familiar with the song, it's a similar theme. And my supervisor said, Jess, stand up on this, it was like a little raised platform that was on the soundboard, and I did, and just looked out at the entire crowd and just observing everything that's happening. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. But it was the coolest thing to be able to observe. So yeah, that's my Fan Friday. I felt like I couldn't really pick anything other than the legendary Foo Fighters as my fan experience. And then after that concert, it got me thinking a lot about how, hey, I want to be able to put on events like this, be a part of events like this, and make people have this sort of strong reaction to the concerts that I put on for a living, because it was such a rewarding feeling. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and feel free to come to our Facebook page and interact with me there. I'm always there. Bye.